I'm Olga Potaptseva. I'm the founder of the European Customer Consultancy, and it's a global customer experience consultancy. I work with large organizations in various parts of the world, but my base, fortunately, is in the beautiful country of Georgia. And this is where I've been based for the past 2 years and intend to stay. What I'm noticing that the market is becoming increasingly ready for customer experience. So what I want to talk about is the experience economy. Are we now entering the experience economy? What is it really? Are we ready? Then we will have Nino, who is a CX specialist, one of the very few in Georgia, and she works for a very large Georgian bank. She'll talk to us about her experience. We have a leading specialist in neuropsychology, and I'm just gonna have to ask him what it's all about and why CX, why is it important? So bear with us. We'll come on to Omid Asgari in a short while. And then we've got Artur and Satenik joining us from Armenia, Russian Armenian University, who are launching an MBA CX initiative. So again, amazing to see how this region is leading the way in education. There are not many MBA CX programs in the world, and we're very proud to be the first ones. And at the end, we'll have an opportunity to chat and talk and answer any questions. Again, we wanted to be very informal. We are a very small community here, so let's get to know each other and let's get talking. So welcome. I've already introduced myself. I'm on top of everything else, a book author, speaker, a judge at International Customer Experience Awards. I'm very much in love with customer experience, and I do want you to become as passionate as I am and realize the value of it for your businesses and for the economy. So the experience economy, is it a myth, or is it really there? Is it something out there, or does it actually work in our region as well? And on a practical level, how can your business benefit from it? These are the 3 questions that I intend to answer during my presentation. So, simple analogy. Long time ago, well, not so long ago, maybe 50, 60 years ago, the only option for parents to have a party for their child for a birthday was to make a cake. That was cheap, right? $2. Then very clever companies out there realized that the parents would probably very much like it to have easy. So they invented an easy mix and started charging double for it. Then bakeries out there said, well, we will make a cake for you, but we'll charge you $10. But again, that removes all the hustle, all the bother, and we'll also make it beautiful, not the one that you make that's, you know, made with love, but not necessarily as pretty. So all the mums and dads out there said, oh, hooray, that's easy, that's beautiful, I'm prepared to pay for it. And then the latest development is that we don't even make a cake. We don't even buy a cake. We get given the cake for free. It's a commodity. It's a stage. It's something that gets given on top of the experience that children have in a children's center, where we probably pay something like $100 or more for a party, but the kid gets entertained, they love the experience, they get their favorite characters, and the parents have the easiest possible experience out there. So what I'm leading to is that goods become commodities. In the experience economies, people buy experiences. You can probably relate to this if you think about things that you remember about your experiences. You remember 3 things. You remember the bad ones, the great ones, or you remember nothing. Most of our experiences are nothing. Imagine how many times you've been to a restaurant. Probably hundreds. How many of them do you actually remember? Those that stand out, either positively or negatively. So in the last century, the world has moved from extracting commodities to staging experiences. Purposeful experience creation and management enables you to sell goods and services with a higher margin. And this is the bit that is often missed out when we talk about customer experience. It is not a fluffy discipline. Let's make everything so pretty and nice. Let's be amazing to our customers. We're doing it with a purpose of commercial success, but we're doing it in the right way to make customers love us, make them want to recommend us, and make them want to buy more. So where's the proof? There are several, more than four, definitely more than four brands around the world who have proven the value of customer experience. If you were with us at the global part of this event, there was a presentation earlier that quite scientifically proved that companies that are good at experiences also grow faster and recover quicker from any market turmoils that we may experience. So Starling Bank, for example. Starling Bank is a UK online bank. It came on board just a few years ago when the regulations relaxed, and previously in the UK used to have 6 major banks that were very complacent in their experience that they provide to customers, very traditional and very internally focused. Starling Bank addressed the need for easy banking. They don't have branches, you can only do things online. You apply for an account through your app. You just send them your pictures of your passport or any other ID information they require. They use biometrics as the way to identify you, and it's all seamless. They won a huge market share as a result of this disruption based on addressing customer needs that haven't been addressed. IBM never used to charge for service. In the last 30 years, they've shifted from almost not charging for hardware to charging for service, because their service is much more valuable. Hardware can be manufactured by almost anyone else. Apple, you don't need me to tell you how huge Apple is and why it has become huge. What not many people know, though, is that Apple has 30% market share in headsets manufacturing, but 60% market share in value. This is a prime example whereby creating an experience, you can sell products at a higher price. On the face of it, an iPhone does exactly the same thing as any other smartphone, but they cost a lot more and people are willing to pay for it. Amazon, huge disruptor in the retail industry. It reimagined the retail industry forever. They have set an expectation in the UK, in the US, and other markets where they operate that your delivery will be with you today, maximum tomorrow, or at the time that you choose. Now, all the retailers that operate in the same market have to comply with that new expectation that Amazon managed to create. So, is this relevant? Are we talking about some faraway worlds, or is this actually developing? I must admit that the experience economy originated in the markets such as US, UK, parts of Australia picked up on it, Western Europe. So you may say it's developed economies, which is true. The level of competition there is very high. So companies have needed a way to differentiate themselves. So having strong competition is one fundamental factor for focusing on customer experience, but not the only one. We see competition rising in many other regions in the world. So I, for example, work a lot in the Arabic countries, Saudi Arabia and UAE. Over there, experience has become a requirement from the state. the state now wants its citizens to have amazing citizen, consumer, and social experiences. So they, for example, created a Ministry of Happiness that looks after consumer happiness. And all companies have to fulfill certain criteria to meet customer expectations. So it is not driven just by the competition. Customer experience focus can also be driven by the state. Does customer experience apply in healthcare? It absolutely does. If you take our region, this is probably where we see the most competition. The number of hospitals and private medical care is quite high per citizen. And this is where we see the differentiation. Those who talk to you nicely, they see you on time, and they fulfill your requirements for medical help are able to charge more. And this is absolutely happening in the market. We are already seeing this competition and customer focus emerging in the banking sector, and Nina will talk about it a lot more later. She's a much more advanced specialist than I am in the Georgian banking. But as a consumer, as a customer experience professional as well, what I see is that both Bank of Georgia and TBC, the two largest banks, have implemented significant transformations to make themselves more customer-centric. Why are they doing it? Because they see the maturity in the customer base in the region, where customers realize that they have needs, they have rights, and they have the ability to switch. So to recap, there are three factors driving customer centricity adoption. One is high level of competition. Two is the regulatory environment. And three is the customer themselves. How do we create experiences? Just to be clear, whether we like it or not, experiences exist. The minute you get a customer, you start creating an experience. What's the problem then, right? They have experiences, so that's great. The problem is that each of your employees would be creating experience to the best of their understanding. So your customers may end up having inconsistent experiences, which means they don't know what to expect from you. And that means your experience is random. You will never, as an organization, you would never leave your pricing, your product, your marketing strategy to chance. You wouldn't throw things out there just to develop somehow. But you very often, many organizations leave their experience strategy to chance. If you think about it, it's really odd because, as I said at the beginning of my presentation, and hopefully you agreed, you remember three things about the company: the good experience, the bad experience, or nothing. So if you've got the product right, you've got the price right, but your experience is nothing, people will remember nothing, and they will go to your competitors who offer the same price or lower and the same product or better. So to create the experience, you need a design. It needs to be on purpose. You need to have a strategy. What is it that we stand for our customers? You need involvement from customers and involvement from your employees. Employees are critical in this. Your experience needs to be predictable, so to say, repeatable. Every time I interact with your company, I know what I'm going to get. And the experience needs to be available in the channel where customer is. So many of us have witnessed digital transformation to various levels of success. It may be because we all drive to digital because it's better for us as a company, it's more cost effective. But this is not where our customers want to be. They still want to come into our branch, for example, and they want that experience to carry on. They want the same experience online, over the phone, or in person. So availability of experience is really important. So think about it. Think about your companies and what is your experience? I'd like to give you an entertaining example from a film, Taxi. If you remember this crazy chap who was driving around and making people laugh and violating all sorts of driving conducts. The customer experience part of it is that he wanted to be the best taxi driver. People were prepared to pay more to ride around for longer, even when they needed to, just to get that crazy feeling of this new experience. He was doing exactly the same service as everyone else, but he was giving people burgers, he was comforting them, he was telling them stories. Basically, he understood what their customers need and was trying to fulfill that. So products are interchangeable. Anyone could drive me anywhere from A to B. Services are intangible and experiences are unforgettable. Experiences are what your competitors cannot replicate. They cannot make your customers feel the same way you make them feel. Now imagine if we've all come to the experience economy. And I've been telling you for a while that we are in the experience economy. We are moving there. We are a developing experience economy worldwide, not just in this region. An experience economy would mean that all we're paying for is experiences. So do a simple test for your company. If you were to charge for the experiences that you deliver, what would you do differently? That's a really interesting question to think about. If you didn't charge for anything else, but you charged for the experiences, what would you do differently? For example, Nike, which you see a picture of here, they have this Nike brand centers where you just come in and you familiarize yourself with the brand. You don't buy anything there, it's just an entertainment thing. If they charged for it, would they invite NBA players to demonstrate how well their trainers perform? Would they let you try on their gear to see how much of a better athlete you become in Nike gear? There's still a lot of room for reimagining how your experiences support your brand and how much you can actually charge for them. So, to summarize, does the experience economy exist? It absolutely does, and it's a global trend. We are a developing experience economy worldwide. There is a great opportunity to differentiate through experiences in the Caucasus. There is not much competition there in terms of experiences. And how do we do this? Is by creating and managing experience your customers will remember and will come back for. So hopefully this was a useful tour of customer experience and experience economy, and I would be very happy to take your questions now. I probably need to unmute people. Right, please unmute yourself if you can. If you can't, then type and I'll find a way to unmute people if I can. Anna, do we have any questions to kick this off?
So far, no, but I would like to ask a question that I was able to summarize from your lovely presentation. Where do you think the customer experiences will be in 5 years from now? What do you think the future trends will look like, especially in the post-COVID era? What do you think will change?
A very good question. I think that people and businesses will become a lot more aware of the value of experiences, and more consumers will choose who they buy from on the basis of experience. And consequently, the businesses will invest in managing customer experiences a lot more. In specifically related to the post-COVID era, I think there are certain consumer needs that have emerged. And one of them that I always single out is they need to do the right thing, even if it's not part of your process, even if you've never promised it as a business. But if a customer really, really needs that, businesses should do it. There are different things at play, like, for example, is it a valuable customer for us? Yes, we need to know our customers pretty well and not give out sweets to those who don't deserve them. But in reality, we will be a lot more focused on customers.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I would also like to, encourage all participants to join the chat. At least introduce themselves. I see that we have people from Caucasus so far and Russia, but it would be interesting to see what all the other attendees, where they are from, and if they have any interesting questions about the presentation. If not, I think we could move on to
the next. I think we can. How many of you in the Caucasus? Yeah, so I'm just checking the chat to make sure
I'm
that
trying
we're not
to
missing anything, but yeah,
no,
I do encourage
I'm
you.
Diligently following, but maybe people need some time to warm up.
All right.